Welcome to New It 2, everybody. This is Kaylin and Jan.
Hello, I'm back.
I'm on the other side of the camera again this week because we're going to talk about software with you.
Yeah, she's a genius at it.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but I can definitely show you a thing or two. So the idea that I had for this week is that I want to be able to make my own custom family portraits like the ones you see here. Now, not so much the cross-stitch ones, though they're cute as can be, but the ones that are embroidered like you see here. And because I have the software that I need to do that, I can do it exactly the way that I want. So what we're going to show you today is how we would create something like this using Floriani Total Control Total Control U software. I'm showing my age on Pro. That's been like 10 years. And so we are going to open up our Floriani Total Control. And when you first open it, it will open to just an open blank design, just a kind of workspace. And what I need to do is first choose a photo, which...
Can you tilt your screen just slightly? Oh, that's so much better. It got that glare off of
there. There we go.
Thank
okay.
you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So, of course, you need to pick what photo you want to use. And then we are going to just convert that basically manually into our own stitch design. So once I have this open, what I'm going to do on my software, and if you need to kind of zoom in on stuff as you go, go for it. There is an icon right here that looks kind of like a mountain portrait. And if you hover over it, it calls it the backdrop tool. Okay. So I'm gonna tap the backdrop tool. It gives me two options, backdrop or magic block. Now I have the full version, the entire universal bundle on here. So I also have some of the quilting tools that magic block would use, but today we just want backdrop. Backdrop on Floriani is when you bring in a design in the background. It's not trying to make it stitches. It's so that you can build on top of it. So that's what I want to do with my photo. We don't want a photo stitch. I want a totally different look than what a photo stitch would give me for this.
That's just solid thread. We're trying to do more like an outline.
Exactly, more kind of painterly, more kind of, you know.
Yes.
Now, Floriani comes with a lot of designs that you can practice backdrop with. And it's going to automatically open to that, and it's going to be this images folder. But I went ahead and downloaded a photograph of my tiny one. Marie, some of you on Facebook have probably already seen her.
Yes.
And I picked one of my favorite recent photos of her. And so I have that in my downloads. So right here, I have the different places on my computer that I can navigate to. And so I'm going to go to Home, Downloads, and then I just happen to know it's the first thing that I have on there. Okay, so you may have noticed my grid suddenly got a lot smaller, and this photo is like covered in grid, right?
Right.
And it's sideways, yes. Okay, so a couple different things here. It's a photo taken on my phone, which modern phones have a very high-end camera in them.
Yes, they do.
So it's a very large photograph. If you look at this is inches across here. So it's going from like 29 to 29, which is telling me that right now, if I were to try to stitch this out, if I converted this,
it wouldn't fit.
It would be a 60-inch long design, which I know our hoops have gotten bigger. They have not gotten that much bigger. Plus, that's like, where would I even hang it? You know? So first thing I want to do is I want to resize this. So I have these nodes in the four corners of my backdrop of Marie here. And so when I hover over one, my mouse will change into that little angled arrow. So we'll go off of it, and then you know you're on it when it becomes the little arrow there. So I'm just gonna click and I'm gonna drag that down. And then up here on my zoom, you can see it had to go all the way up to 9% to show the whole picture at once, like out of 100% zoom. So we're gonna click the down arrow, and I'm gonna say to fit, which means that what I have selected right now will fill the screen. Ta-da!
And now how big is it?
It's still bigger than what I want, but you know, you gotta start somewhere. So now it's going from 6 to 6, so it's 12 inches.
Right.
Doesn't mean I couldn't do it on one of my machines at this point.
That's still kind of big though.
But it's, you know, that's maybe not what I'm after. So we're gonna go down a little bit more. Now, if I wanted to be more precise than just dragging, if you come over here, my properties box,
yes, I see that.
I do have my width and my height right here that I could type in a number.
Done that in the first place?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
So you always have that over there that you can, you know, you can rotate it, you can resize resize it over here. The thing about Floriani, and I've said this to anybody that's ever taken a class with me on this over the years, Floriani always gives you multiple ways to get to the same tool.
I like that.
Or the same function. So we have our nodes and we have our numbers over here. But I'm just gonna drag it down with my little nodes over here again. Just down a little bit further. Okay, so now we're looking at about 8 inches by about 6 inches.
Okay.
So that's, I'm happy with that.
Okay.
So we say to fit. Now here's the deal, on the rotation, I can rotate. If you notice, my little mouse becomes a little circle with arrows whenever I hover over that little dot.
Yep.
But I want it to be just 90 degrees, right? And so what I'm gonna do is I am going to come over here now, because I need a precise amount. I'm not just freewheeling it. And I am going to either type in the rotation or I can just say 90, but you notice it's rotating it this way. So, you know, use logic, we just do it until it's upright. And then I'll say to fit again. And then there we have it, you know, now I can actually have it the right size, have it the right orientation, and then goodness gracious, isn't she just the best?
Yep, gotta love those Harry Potter glasses.
They are, and they are pretend Harry Potter glasses.
They
I'm
are.
not ruining her
It's
eyes.
just, they're empty in the middle, right?
They're not empty. No, it's
Oh,
just
there's
plastic.
clear-
It's
clear
just clear. Yeah, it's just clear plastic.
Okay, that's my granddaughter we're talking about. You gotta keep those eyes safe.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start to build an outline around her. So at this point, I get to decide, and I think back to my my things here. How much detail do I want? Do I want the facial features indicated? Do I want them to be more open format like this one?
So this is where your artistic side
That's
comes
right.
in.
You're deciding how much or how little you want. Do I want the flowers in there? You know, how much work do I want to put in to get it to that point?
Because you can make it simple or complicated.
Exactly. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and start with the face, because I know if nothing else, I want her hair indicated, face shape, got to have those glasses on there.
Right.
And so what I'm going to do is now I'm going to come over to the left side of my screen, this ribbon here,
Let me get over there.
and I'm going to select my zoom tool.
So the magnifying glass.
And I'm going to tap it, and what's going to happen now is my cursor becomes a magnifying glass,
Okay.
and I'm going to drag it over the face. I'm going to
Just
drag
from
in.
corner to corner.
Mhm.
And did you just hold down like
I'm holding down the left mouse click,
left mouse and drag?
and then when you release the click, it will zoom into that space. Now, this can depend if you need to do this on the size of your screen. If I was at home on my larger desktop, I probably would have needed to do that. But on a laptop, you know, if you're digitizing on the go, then, you know, as we all do all the time,
All the time.
then you're going to be able to zoom as needed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to come over here to my pencil artwork tool up here at the top.
I see that.
So I have, when I click on that, I have now a crosshair that travels. Here, I'll move over so you guys can see the whole thing. That travels on my screen to make sure I know where I'm at. And to the left of the icon, I have the line type that I want to make. Now, this gets a little bit into the weeds of like deep Illustrator stuff, but basically what you want to take away from this is that I can just use it as a pencil where I click and drag and it'll draw whatever line, however jaggedy it is.
Okay.
Or I can do point to point, or I can do something called Bezier, which is where you would drag your curves. For right now, we are going to do our pen for point to point. And what I'm gonna do, because I can always come back and curve the line smoother later if I want to.
Okay.
For a lot of people starting out, that's a lot easier than the Bezier tool, which we can get into on a different week's
That's
New
true.
It too.
Bezier is it's a great tool, but let's start with this.
Exactly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my cursor to where I'm going to start. I'm just going to start with the chunk here of her hair, okay? And I'm going to start at a point that seems like a logical point to
Starting where her
start.
finger is. Okay.
And I'm going to start to click, and I can drag the line as I click from point to point to point. Okay, if I'm not happy with what I've gotten, okay, because I think I accidentally unclicked too soon that time. Let's see if we do. We'll try line. Hold on, I might have misspoken. Point to point Yes, okay, I did misspeak. Sorry, you want line for this one. So I'm just clicking, and you see how my line, and I can even show you here, if I was to click over here.
This is the kind of thing I do. I accidentally like move and then click, and then I get this weird angle, like tangents off of my head.
And so I'm just gonna go to each point where I want there to be a new point of shift.
And aren't those little blue things called nodes?
They are nodes. There's probably different names for them, but nodes is one of them. And I'm just going around here. And so right now what I'm gonna have, because I didn't do Bezier, which allows me to curve as I go, which is part of what makes it a little bit more challenging, is I have straight lines between these. There is no subtleness of the curve on those lines right now. I can always go back and curve them with my shape editor later, and I'll show you guys a little bit of that here in a minute. But what I'm gonna do for now is we're just gonna go around, and I'm gonna say, okay, her hair stops there, and then it goes.
So you're only focusing on hair right now.
And really only this one piece of the hair, because if you notice her ear covers up the hair that is down by her shoulder, so I'm gonna make that its own shape.
Okay.
But so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go up, and I also picked it because it's a relatively quick shape to draw for you guys.
Where playing dot to dot when you're a kid is important.
Yeah, if you didn't enough.
Do you have to do something to close the shape?
Yeah, you do. You come over to the left. So I've gotten to where I'm happy with this shape. It's as much as what I want to do right now. And I can either zoom in again, and you can do that by zooming on your trackpad if you need to. But otherwise, you can come over here, and let me remember where it is. Maybe it's just enter. There we go. Okay, so to finish a shape, sorry, you do a right click. Okay?
Okay.
And so then what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to select over here, and now it's gonna select it as a piece right there, okay? And if I want this to be part of my outline, I can just convert it down here along my bottom ribbon to stitches, okay? But if I want it to become my hair fill, because I'm gonna wanna do both. So if I come back here to my kind of inspiration, I kind of like the idea of a blend here where you've got some pieces are filled with color and then some are just outlines, like how they've done the hair on this one. So I'll come over here, and you know what I'm gonna do is when I get to this point, for me, sometimes it can be hard to see where the lines are and where they're not, because where it gets darker on the photograph, it's harder to tell. So on my backdrop tool, you can make it disappear. So if I
can you make it go away, like kind of shading it out, or is it just off or on?
I think it's just off or on. I've not found a way to zoom it in and out, but you know what, let's try, because I do see darker and lighter here on the right, so maybe that does something more than what I think it does. Maybe I'm learning something from Jan today.
Figured something out.
But let's find. Okay, so I've taken from darker to lighter, and we're gonna click apply. Click apply. Ah, look at that! I learned something from Jan today. Mark your calendars. I'm kidding, I love my mom. So what we have then is we've got our line, okay? And I do want to close this outline. And so I'm going to, actually, I'm going to use my zoom tool. I'm going to zoom into that point right there. Come on, little buddy. Little buddy. Oh, it went back to my select tool. Sorry, guys. Zoom tool. You always got to watch your cursor for what it's on. It'll always kind of give you the good information on that. Then we're going to select our artwork here. Oh, it did select it. I'm just so zoomed in, I couldn't tell. I'm going to go to my shape here. And then what I like to do is on my different nodes, I can close the line right there, and do you see how it popped that line in there?
So how do you get back to?
I'm gonna, well, hold on, I'm gonna undo that one so that I can do that a little slower. So I hover over, I'm on my shape tool over here, which if you wanna get, which allows me to edit the shape. And then I go to the bottom where I didn't quite connect it. I'm gonna right click that node, and I'm gonna say close line, and it's gonna connect it to that closest node.
So how do you zoom back out?
Well, you've got a couple different options. You can...
Does it like pinching on the trackpad work?
It does.
Okay.
So if you have a trackpad, pinching or the fingers in and out, that will do it. And I wanted to show you guys real quick here what I can do if I'm unhappy with how angled a section is. Oh, too much. Zoom out. There we go. Okay, so that's a little bit too angled for me, right? Some of these probably fine. And remember too, I'm also at over 600%, so some of it's not gonna read as an angle, but that one's a little too much for me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back to my shape editor. I'm gonna hover over this node. I'm gonna right click it. And instead of line, which is when it is hard point connections, I'm gonna say cusp. No, I'm not. You guys are learning with me. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna say, not cusp. I am going to say smooth. Ha ha ha. Okay, so what that does is it changes the line properties where now it's making a calculated curve between the two. Now what you might find is that maybe you want several of them to be smooth. And that is gonna actually start to give it a more naturalistic appearance, right? Now here's the thing, you can really get yourself in the weeds with this stuff, so it's really up to you how much you want to do to make these lines exactly what you want. You can realize it's 6 o'clock in the morning and you thought it was still the day before, so use your best judgment on how long you want to play with this stuff. You know, really awesome tool though to have. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna say zoom back, we're gonna say to fit. Okay, and what I'm gonna do here is I wanna make this, I actually need two because I still need an outline later on. I still need that outline. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just copy and paste to have two of these. And if you notice here over in my properties box, when I used my key commands of holding Control and then C and then Control and then V to copy and paste what I had selected, now I have two. They're in the same step because they're the same color. So I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna select one of them. And then I'm gonna come back over here to my color ribbon at the bottom. And I'm gonna,
blue hair right now.
Well, I mean, yeah, well, not till she's a teenager, right? We're gonna make it orange. And if you look here now, it's two steps. So I'm gonna save one.
So this isn't really about picking the thread color.
No, not right now.
This is just because
I just need them split up.
And the color splits the step.
That's right. By having two different pieces be two different colors, it automatically.
I mean, not that I'm opposed to blue or orange hair.
Well, not when you're two. Well, like I say, we'll wait till she's a teenager or something for that. But no, I just needed two because I need one that I can convert into a stitched outline, and one that I can convert into a filled space.
Okay.
Because eventually I am gonna want, and this is artwork right now. Do you see it says artwork?
Okay.
We are going to convert that to stitches. Right now there's no stitches. So this is artwork. So we're gonna convert that. All you have to do on Floriani is I'm gonna have the one I want selected. I'm gonna come down to my bottom ribbon and I'm gonna come to the one that says standard fill. I'm gonna click that. And just like that, it's going to convert it. Now it's highlighted right now, and I set this really neon blue so I would always know what I had selected. But we are going to change that, and it's orange right now. But I'm going to click that. I'm going to say, you know, she's actually blonde, so we'll pick a yellow for now. And then I'll click away from it so that you guys can see, and I'll do it in 3D. So now it's a base fill. We can play with it and change the angle and stuff later, but now it's gonna be that filled space so that I can start to build all the different pieces that I want for her in this way. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a couple minutes to build this, and then we'll come back and we'll show you guys the finished product.
Okay.
Okay, everybody, so now I have completed my task, and for the grand reveal I'm going to also teach you a quick skill as part of it. If you want to toggle your backdrop on and off, all you need to do is do Alt and S and it will show or hide.
Oh, so instead of having to go over to that properties bar,
which you can do if you want to just like
do that again.
Okay, Alt S.
I'm going to back up so you can.
Okay, so we've got the Alt key here and the S key here, and I'm going to go Alt S.
I love hotkeys.
Hotkeys are the best.
Yep.
Okay. So this is our stitch out. What I have done, just for a few quick features, is I did a motif fill on the hair, so it has that kind of waving look. My daughter has slightly curly hair, so I went for that. We have her horn-rimmed glasses.
Her very Harry Potter glasses.
Yes, I did blue eyes because my little one has blue eyes, and I filled in that bow tie because I thought it was just too cute. And I did a patterned fill on that as well, just to kind of give it that extra little bit. And then the rest is just gonna be a beam stitch. So stick around because next week we will have this stitched out so you guys can see what it looks like in the, you know, in the real world here. But it's that simple to just click and draw your lines and then set your stitches with our ribbon down here to make a really one-of-a-kind piece of art for memorializing, you know, family pictures and things like that.
So I want you to show something. I'm going to get closer here on this properties area. Where I gotta pull back. It's doing that weird
the
screen weird. Yes. Where it's showing what the different steps are on that all items down there.
Yeah.
Can you just kind of scroll through that so people can see how?
So let me expand it real quick for you guys. Oh, hang on. Let me just drag it out. Maybe it won't let me do it. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So I'm just gonna make it bigger so you guys can see them all at once. Okay. So what this is this is the order that this is going to stitch in. And I chose that order based on what I thought was going to look best. I wanted my beam stitch to be, you know, on top of everything, except the glasses, they were falling behind a couple of the outlines that I thought they would look better without being behind it.
You do put your glasses on.
You put them on last, right?
Yep.
Right.
But the hair is the first thing because then the line will be over the top of the...
Yes. So the one thing I have, so this is going to be the sequence view, and this is the thread colors that I have selected just from my ribbon down here. But another thing that's nice is when I have this, if I want to get a sense of what this is going to stitch out like, I can come up here to this top ribbon. This is my slow redraw, and I'm going to set it to a pretty fast click for you guys here. But it's going to show me what it'll actually stitch like so that I can see here what all it's going to do. So I can see it doing my underlay and then my fill stitches. I can see it doing all the different pieces of this design.
In the order that it will stitch
in. The actual order it's going to stitch in. Now, a few of our machines actually have this feature as well, and we can show you that.
And this goes so much faster because the needle's not having to go up and down and it's not having to cut anything. Now, do you have to tell it when to cut or does it know?
So you can tell it if you need it to cut, but it will default to anything further apart than 5 millimeters between the different lines that you draw will automatically be a cut on your machine if it is a machine that cuts your jump stitches. So in the Baby Lock line, anything from the Flare and Vesta on up.
Okay, that's good to know.
But you can force it to be a cut, or you can input a cut part of the way through, a trim I should say, through a step if you want to. Boy, she looks a little freaky now while we wait for other pieces of it to get stitched in, but that's okay. There we go.
And then we have the fun glasses.
And there you have it. So that tells me that I'm happy with that as a stitch out.
Okay.
And so from there, all we would do is save our design. So we'll come over here to File. I'm going to say Save As, because right now it is a WAF file, which is Walter Floriani's initials, and that's going to be the...
No, I always thought it meant working art file.
No, I'm pretty sure it's Walter something Floriani.
It could be either.
Yeah, it could be either. I like my idea better.
Yes.
And I'm going to say Marie Stitch Out. And then I'm going to change it. Of course, I'm going to be stitching this on a Baby Lock, so I'm going to come up here to my PES version 11, my latest, so that it can read my largest hoop sizes. And I'm going to save it somewhere really easy to find, so I'll do the desktop.
I almost always save everything to my desktop, then move it to the folder.
If you have a really nice, like, embroidery files kind of like organization, by all means, save it there.
I tried that once, and it just ended up being a collector of all things.
Right, it just becomes a different type of clutter,
Yep.
So I'm going to hit save, and that's it. Now you may notice here that now it says mariestitchout.pes at the top here.
And that's what we would save to put on our flash drive.
That's
or
right.
You can send it Wi-Fi.
Wirelessly
depending
on your machine and your computer, absolutely.
Okay. Well, this is all fun.
So stay tuned next week for when we actually kind of do a reveal of the actual stitched version.
So let's talk about a couple of things.
Okay.
I'm going to hand this over to you because I'm trying to hold the camera still.
Okay.
So Kayla and I actually do look halfway decent today, but you're not going to get to see us on camera today.
But we're going to hide anyway.
This is a Floriani Stabilizer Quick Reference Guide, and one thing I like about it is this is a great little handout that we have available. You can also find it on the Floriani website. and it tells you about fabric type, design type, and the recommended stabilizer. But if you go into Floriani, it will also tell you the recommended stabilizer.
That's true. If you run it through Save to Sew, it gives you your stabilizer recommendations.
And we have made a decision that on this, we would probably want to use something fusible on the back of our fabric, and something that's got a little bit of heft to it.
Kind of a cutaway.
Because we plan on framing this.
Yeah, so we're going to make this and frame it. So we want something with some real body to it. We don't need it to have a nice drape when it's done.
You're going to have to back up, baby.
Oh boy, here we go. So we have selected cutaway medium fusible.
Yes.
Because the last thing you want on a piece for your wall is puckered fabric.
Oh yeah, that looks terrible.
Right, and so we're going with kind of a heavy hitter here for our stitch
and so
out.
what I want to do this week is, if it is a any kind of Floriani cutaway, because there's different types of cutaway. We have some fusible, some not fusible. If you buy one this week, before the end of the day, Saturday, October 5th, you get one half off.
Okay, buy one, get one half off. I like it.
That's a great deal.
Yeah.
And for one lucky winner.
I was about to say, we need to give one away.
You gotta keep.
Oh,
here, I can't get far enough
away. Oh no, we're in my office. I'm so sorry.
And I can't back up. There's a printer behind me. This is okay. You got to do it. I know you didn't want to last week.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, okay. I did it while you were off.
All right. Put your hands out there.
Okay. So how do we're going to give away one roll of cutaway medium fusible so that you can do your own wall hanging stitch out. And so to do this, ready? We like, share, or comment by Thursday at
5 o'clock. Okay.
To be entered to win a roll. But even if you aren't our lucky winner, you can still buy any one roll of cutaway and get any other roll of cutaway of any type of cutaway.
Yep.
Half off.
Right. And then some of the other things that I have to talk to you about. I can't be that far back.
Here, I can hold them this time.
Here.
If you have,
put it up there, sir.
Yeah, I'm going to. If you have our products and you are needing help learning how to use them, we do, of course, have our guide classes, and availability does vary a bit by location, so please always give your store a call. But we have October and November calendars out right now. So please call or go into any of your local BSO-ins in Muskogee, Springfield, Fayetteville, Tulsa, Oklahoma City, or Humble to see when the right class is for you. We would love to have you in on any of our free guide classes. That covers things like Floriani, like what we just talked about today, as well as our different machines and other softwares. We would love to have you.
And where you see it says BAO, that is by appointment.
By appointment only, which means you can call and set up a one-on-one with any of our team to learn.
You gain a lot from being in a group setting because people ask a lot of questions, but sometimes those dates don't work out for you, or you just need a little bit of hand-holding one-on-one help.
Hey, we're happy to do it. Happy to do it. Not on this day.
Not on Thanksgiving. And then we don't actually have guide classes in December because December's
holiday shopping.
Crazy time.
That's right. But then we do have coming up a few more 2024 sessions of club in just a couple of weeks, really. We have got our October club. That's either on the 17th or the 19th. The 17th being Thursday at 1 p.m. The 19th is the Saturday at 10 a.m. And then we have November, again, 1 p.m. or 10 a.m., 21st or the 23rd. And then get excited for upcoming details on our December charity club. This is our annual December BSO-in Gives Back.
It's a wonderful project.
And so we are finalizing all the details on that right now, and we are excited to have you guys with us to give back to our communities.
Okay, so but before we get too far gone here, thank you so much for that information. Let's go back to Floriani, because some of you might be going, hey, wait a minute, I want that.
Oh, right.
So Floriani Total Control Universal.
It stands for upgrade.
Does it stand for upgrade?
But it's really just the current version.
FTCU.
There you go.
There you go. The MSRP on that one is $3,999. It is over half off right now.
Oh,
if it is
of that number?
Of that number.
Oh,
if
nice.
that is something that you've been interested in, this is a great time to buy software.
And you guys, I this is what I use at home. I've had this in various versions for over 10 years. I would never use a different one.
And one of the great things about Floriani Total Control is you don't have to buy upgrades for it.
Yeah, once you're in, you're in. Yeah, absolutely. You become part of the Floriani software family.
Okay, so remember, like, share, comment. win you some stabilizer there, or come in and buy some and get one half off
Yeah.
on any of the cutaways.
Thank
All right,
you for
thanks,
joining
guys.
us, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.